Okay, so we're going to use the quotient rule to figure out some derivatives for trig functions. So remember, the derivative of the sine of x we found was the cosine of x, and the derivative of the cosine of x is the negative sine of x. So we're going to use that to do the tangent of x. So this is the same as taking the derivative of the sine of x over the cosine of x. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to use the quotient rule to do this. So it's low d high, which is the cosine of x, minus high times d low, which is the negative sine of x, and that's all over low squared. So if I rewrite this, I'm going to say that this is the cosine squared of x. This becomes plus sine squared of x, and this is all over the cosine squared of x. So now there's two ways that you can simplify this, and both of them are pretty important, I think, when it comes down to it. First one is that this chunk is equal to 1. So then this ends up giving me 1 over the cosine squared of x, which that ends up being equal to the secant squared of x. So that's an important piece. If I did this and I did the cosine squared over the cosine squared of x, I'm going to equal 1. And if I did the sine squared over the cosine squared, I would get the tangent squared of x. Both of them, I think, are important to write down. In everything that we list, it's going to basically have the secant squared of x. But really the piece that comes down to, and why this is important, is I can now say that since those are equal, both of these pieces, the secant squared of x is equal to the 1 plus the tangent squared of x. And we're going to get there at some point where that's going to become important. But make sure you know that it is the secant squared of x. Here's the next one. We're talking about the cotangent. This is where we have the cosine of x over the sine of x. And we're going to have a similar outcome here. So from here we do low times d high, which is the negative sine of x, minus high d low, which is cosine of x, and this is all over low squared. So we get negative sine squared of x minus cosine squared of x all over the sine squared of x. So well, you can go ahead here and you can realize that this is equal to a negative 1. So then I can say that this is negative 1 over the sine squared of x, which is equal to our cosecant squared. And make sure you have that negative, but it's cosecant squared of x. So that's what one of them equals. And if we do the same thing as what we did before, we're going to end up with negative 1 and minus the cotangent squared of x. And so this is also going to be an important thing that we see. And once again, we can then say that the negative cosecant squared of x is equal to the negative 1 minus the cotangent squared of x, which we can make them all positive. So cosecant squared of x is equal to 1 plus cotangent squared of x. All very important stuff. I would make sure you are getting this stuff down. Now we're going to do the cosecant. Well, this is the same as 1 over the sine of x. So we have to take the derivative of it, and it's low d high, which is just 0, minus high d low, which is the cosine of x, all over that one squared. So since that's 0, I'm going to go ahead and reflect that. So it's just negative cosine of x over the sine squared of x. And so then we can simplify this, where I could get the, if I take this into two separate pieces, I'm going to do the cosine of x over the sine of x, and then I'm going to do negative 1 over the sine of x. So what you end up getting here, this is the cotangent, and this is the negative cosecant of x. So I would like to write it as the negative cosecant of x cotangent of x. And that's what that equals. Here's another one where we've got the secant, and this is the 1 over the cosine of x. So I end up doing low d high, which this is cosine of x times 0. So that's just going to end up with 0. Minus high times the d low, which is the negative sine of x, all over low squared. So it's cosine squared of x. Well, this top part ends up just being equal to the sine of x over the cosine squared of x. And from there, let's do the same thing as what we did last time. Let's split it up into the sine of x over the cosine of x, and then 1 over the cosine of x. And so from here, I can then say that this is the tangent of x, and this is the secant of x. So in all, I would say that this is the secant of x, tangent of x.